Hello and welcome to my channel, Inner Journey with Meditation. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Doris. Today I want to talk about jobs, actually, about work, about working hard. I watched a show on TV the other day, and in the show was about two families, rich family, poor family, swapping lives, living in each other's lives. So the rich family moved to the poor house and lived there for a week. The poor family moved to the rich house and lived there for a week. I think it's a week. Anyway, I watched one of these shows, and there was in the one I watched, there was this young man. He was black. He was early 20s, I think. I'm not sure how old he was. I don't think he was from the poor family side. Obviously, most of us are black. Most of us don't have much money, you know. I don't think he had higher education, so I don't think he went to university or anything like that. But so he and his family moved to the rich household. They lived there for I don't know, 5 days a week. I don't know how many days the show is, but during this time he had dinner. They enjoyed the rich household lifestyle. He had dinner with like the male friends of the rich guy, and he came out of there, and one of the things he said was, "Oh wow, they seem like such nice people," and he likes the lifestyle, and he knows, and he wants to work harder to achieve something like this, something similar. So basically, he wanted a better life for himself and the rest of his family. You could see how the other half lives, and you're like, I want a piece of that, you know. But as soon as he said, I'm going to work harder, I just thought to myself, work hard doing what? You know? And this now started a dialogue with my inner being. So, because it wasn't so much that I was having a go at the young man thinking, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to achieve? It was more, I felt bad that we have this belief, this thing that all we need to do is work hard and everything will be fine. Work hard and you'll get there. So when I thought about him, it was more, well, work hard doing what? If he had no formal higher level degree type education, you most likely, not always, most likely you'll get a job doing minimum paid work, working for very long hours, just to achieve a smidgen of what that guy had, living in that big house. That's how I felt, and I felt a bit sorry for him, because I just thought, you're going to be working long hours, and just to, you know, and I wanted to, anyway, let's not go into, I wanted him to come into this in a bit. But then these now brought on thoughts of when I worked in corporate life, where even in corporate life, even working with a university degree in corporate life, there's also the thought process. Just put your head down, work hard, it will show itself, and you will just get promoted. You know, that's not what happened to me. I didn't find that. I found the goalposts kept moving. I found I don't want to go into what I found, but suffice to say, I was still unfulfilled. Yet I was afraid to leave my job because I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what I like enough to do to make me leave my current job. Besides, the job pays more than the average wage, national average wage. Why leave? This was how I felt. And I know that there are a number of people in that same situation. You know you're working hard, either in minimum paid work, doing 70 hours a week, that you don't even have time to think for yourself. Think about, ooh, time for myself. Or working hard, even in corporate life. And you don't quite understand, why am I putting in all these hours and yet I seem to move that much? Why? So what's the answer? The answer is my standard answer. The answer is my standard answer. Connect with your inner being. Dialogue with your inner being. I did do this back then when I was in corporate Britain. Corporate life. I didn't do this then. But in this conversation that I had with my inner being, this is what she said. I've got a prop. Okay, see this, you see this stick? Can you see? Can you see this set of bunch of, it's like 4 sticks really. It's another prop, another set of lines, sticks. Anyway, there's like 4 sticks here facing that downwards. I'd actually sort of viewed it like this, but if I did that, you wouldn't be able to see it very well. So I'm gonna have it like this so that it's a bit clearer for you. Now, bearing in mind that there are 4 sticks, so there are obviously four starting points. This is an example of like a life path, and this is an example of either a life path within one job. So this could be, say, the corporate job. If you are at any point that you are, your inner being, so this is why you should connect with your inner being. Your inner being can see at any point that you are where you end up. At any point that you are where you will end up. Whether it's the best, whether it's the, I did that wrong, whether it's the best point or not is irrelevant. Your inner being has a view of where you are and where you're likely to end up, dependent on your beliefs, hard work, and all the rest of it. So, and this is why I say connect to your inner being, because your inner being can see that this is most probably not the best path for you. And so if you were doing the minimum paid job, there's most likely a better path within that, right? There's most likely a better path within the minimum paid job. And I said to my inner being, so you mean if I was in that minimum paid job 70 hours a week, you'd move me? She's like, no. So you get out of there quickly. This is what I'll do. The reason why you should connect with your inner being is because your inner being knows at whichever point you are where you'll end up. Now I have another prop here. Look. Ta-da! This is one I made earlier. If you can see it very well, I've drawn some lines, right? Going across. So let's go back to the example of corporate life, because in a lot of cases, if you're in a corporate job, why would you want to leave? You don't know what you want to do. It's secure, secure enough. You have some disposable income. You're able to look after your family, pay the mortgage. Why leave? Although you are not fulfilled, but it is enough. It is satisfactory. Not enough, it's just satisfactory. Why leave? within that, your inner being understands that you will not necessarily want to leave because you're comfortable, because you're, relatively happy within it. But your inner being can still navigate you to something better. So coming to this, your inner being, see, can you see the lines on here? I'm saying wherever you are, I said earlier, wherever you are, your inner being knows where you're going to end up. So if this set of pathways, assuming these sticks are life path for your job, for a job that you're doing now, these are possible paths that you could be on. If you started here as a secretary, you could end up here as the VP or something. I don't know. Is that possible? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you could connect with your inner being at any point, and your inner being can navigate you to the most profitable, suitable, favorable position for you within that role that you're playing, that company, that job type, that career. Within that, your inner being can navigate you to the most favorable for you. So in corporate life, there are always these little projects that you do, extra over and above your regular job, and you do it to kind of try to shine to the bosses, especially if it's flavor of the month. It's flavor of the month. Peter over there has got this in hand, and Peter will be giving kudos, and hopefully Peter will get the promotion that he deserves. Do you know what I mean? And then Peter's working really, really hard because this is a very visible project. This is something that he wants to look good doing. Do you know how many of those projects you do in your lifetime in corporate life, constantly trying to please the bosses? And how many actually get you that promotion? How many? The reason why I'm saying this is I guess I did a number while I was in corporate life, so not to touch upon it, but I also know in this conversation with my inner being trying to explain to me that if I had been connected, dialoguing with her at that time, being able to listen to my if I've been able to listen to my listen to her, my guidance system, I would know, I would understand and know when she was moving me across to a better placed position. So I talked about, what did I talk about just now? Just now I talked about projects that you do so that you're recognized or visible to the upper echelons of management and the presidents and the vice presidents and the CEOs. So they recognize you for such a wonderful job that you're doing for this firm, and nobody sees the amount of time and effort that you put into this project that you do. It's just, everybody just wants to see the result. For you, you work hard. You might as well be working 60 hours a week, minimum wage job. You know, as in, it's a lot of effort in for you and a lot of stress. What did my inner being say? If you'd connected with her, if I'd connected with her at the time, what she would have done in that corporate job, she said, if it was the minimum wage job, she's like, no, you're out of there. she would have placed me, navigated me to a better position, period. But in the case of a minimum paid, in the case of a corporate life type position, where I was unwilling to move or not ready to move out yet into the world on my own, what your inner being would do is navigate you to a project that, so navigate you, if you were here, say, maybe, and this was a better place for you, or maybe that was a better place for you, will navigate you across to that. And what I mean by navigate you, your guidance system, there will be ideas, there will be conversations that you'd have, and you drop certain ideas and feelings to the right person in the right ear, things like that. What she said, and you would find this applies to a lot of people, is that I would be navigated to do projects rather than the ones that made me run on the hamster wheel trying to please everybody at the same time in this visible project that will get me noticed by the bigwigs of, you know, corporate life. She's like, no, you will be navigated to a particular project that seemed kind of benign, like doesn't seem important. The thing is, doing a project like that gives you kind of, take the pressure off you. You do it in your own, not in your own time, but it's easier for you to do as it's not so visible to everybody. It's not so, how well are you doing it? Are you doing it quick enough, fast enough, well enough? You know, those kind of projects you can do, and you can do it well. What she would be doing at that time, what most other inner beings would do, would be to place you strategically for something that's coming. So there you are thinking, I've got this benign project that seems counterintuitive, seems like not important at all. The difference is your inner being knows, has a perspective of your life, pretty much like the future. Your inner being knows what's going to happen in the future. So, you know, your inner being knows that that project is going to be important in the future. And here you are, when it comes, you're like, done, dusted, with little effort. You didn't even have to work that hard. And what I mean by work hard is stress about doing it quickly, on time, you know, to the right level. You've just done it in a suitable amount of time that suits you and your family life. That's easy. You've just done that. Sounded like a good idea, yeah. And before you know it, somehow it's like, to the right person picks that up. This is what we need. Who did it? Becomes a coincidental accident, if you like. And this is how it works. So another reason to connect to your another reason to connect to your inner being. If they have a better perspective than you and everybody else in that office, which will you go with? So now the third thing I hadn't talked about, I talked about like minimum wage, working hard. Your inner will probably move you to a better position at the right time. I've talked about if you've got a good job, and you have if you've got a good job, you're comfortable, you don't want to leave, you will be navigated to something better within where you are. Now the best one of it is, I want to leave my job, but I don't know what to do. I'm prepared to leave this job, but I don't know what to do. My inner being said, clear the table, clear it, we're starting from scratch. In that scenario, you get one path. This is something akin, very closely akin to what you've come here to do. And your inner being is saying, you're giving me the permission to guide you to do this one thing. This will be perfect for you. This is when you're doing the best thing ever for you. You wouldn't even start to anticipate, recognize, imagine how perfect this one thing is. Give your inner being the permission to guide you to that one thing. Clear the decks. You're on your way. I hope you like this content. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.